Hey there, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about why we decided to move to Austin, Texas, and what our thought process was like, I don't know, a year ago, 6 months ago when we first decided to move here, the different options that we were going through, what it took to move, and now our thoughts and first impressions once we're here. My name is Stephanie, and I am a brand new blue belt.
My name is Mike Lord, and I'm a brown belt under Fabio Leandro from Alliance Jiu Jitsu. We are hobbyists. We are not professional jiu-jitsu people. We love to compete year-round for the experience and to learn a lot about ourselves. And jiu-jitsu is purely a passion. We have day jobs that we work. So, moving over here was, kind of a big deal for us because we just had to let go of where we were living and saying, okay, we're gonna work 100% remote and we're gonna move for jiu-jitsu.
And a lot of people, I think, were shocked, oh my gosh, you're leaving already? Didn't you just buy a house there?
We bought it in January and we moved in around April. So not even a year that we were living in that house. Probably within 6 months, we were like, all right, we need to find another place that's gonna work for us long term. So the reason we wanted to move is because I said we do compete year round. We wanted to train at a gym that was more competition focused. And especially me being a small guy, I compete in the 135, 136 category. It's really hard to find people of my size that compete. So I never really get the right looks. And when I'm training against people who are 170 pounds, 180 pounds, and just smashing me, I don't really learn anything from a competitive standpoint, other than just how to survive. And for her, what are your reasons?
So I'm obviously in a male-dominated sport, and I'm okay training with guys. I enjoy training with guys if they are my size. But one of the reasons I was thinking of coming specifically to Austin or just any gym was to train with more women. I am competing against women, so being able to be in a gym that has more women and a women's program was very appealing to me.
Another reason why we wanted to move is because the place where we bought our house, because of where our office were located, Alliance is 50-minute drive. So it's 2 hours a day in the car just to train there. There are some gyms closer by, a little bit smaller, but we compete under the Alliance banner, and so that's where we want to do most of our competition training. But it just wasn't feasible to drive to spend 6 to 8 hours a week in the car.
It got exhausting.
Yeah,
it was very tiring. When we got home, it was 10 o'clock at night. We're all right, go to bed, immediately.
We love to train every single day, right? And so, there are some gyms near our house that we were training at, but we just wanted to go to a gym where there was more bodies, more people, and also we lived a lot closer to the gym. So, our kind of threshold was probably about living 15 minutes away from a gym that we wanted to train at. And so we just started talking about different places to move to. We threw around some ideas. We visited Daisy Fresh, and we were seriously considering moving up to Mount Vernon,
Yeah,
Illinois.
We were looking at buying a house up there and seeing what's
super
affordable.
Super cheap to live there.
Yeah. And then we looked at Tennessee. We looked at
Utah
quite a bit.
Different areas of Utah.
North and South Utah. We looked, we did consider other places in Florida. So we thought maybe we should just stay in the state because our main office is located in Florida. Maybe we should stay there. So we considered a few options there as well.
But at the end of the day, we just looked at each other and it's just why don't we just go to the best place in the world to train right now and just call it done? So we're not going somewhere wishing we were somewhere else, right? So, once we decided on that, then it was just a matter of figuring out, okay, how do we actually make this happen? Some of the challenges that we came across to make this move, like I said, we have offices in Florida. We work in mental health, and so we help private practices, is how do we go 100% remote? And that took us some time because we had to hire some people or promote some people and get us to a point where they weren't dependent on us and all the offices ran independently. So that took probably about a year to work out. And then the second part of it is finances. We don't have unlimited money, right? So we had to save up to make this move because we still have a mortgage, and we knew we were going to be double paying. Fortunately, there was one of the coaches at the gym that I train at. He was able to move in, so it helped reduce the sting of this. But really, we just wanted to save up enough money where we can just move here, get into a place, and not have to be stressed financially. And that took us some time to save up some money as well.
So one of the things that we were kind of debating initially was like, okay, do we move somewhere full time? Do we just go on like an extended vacation? Do we take just 3 months, put all our stuff in like a storage unit, rent out our house? Do we not even rent out our house? Do we just let it sit there? All our stuff stays there and we just kind of travel the world potentially, go nomad style? Because we can work wherever, we work remotely. So all we need is a laptop in front of us and a large monitor. But yeah, we were just kind of like throwing around different ideas. We thought about going to Asia, which we still will. We will someday. Maybe Thailand, Philippines, Japan, whatever.
Yeah, so, we kept going back and forth. But again, what it came down to was this. Once we started looking at apartments and costs and Airbnb, we're just like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just take all of our stuff, load it into one of those pod containers. We use Pack Rat, great company, by the way. And we just said, let's just ship it, move it. And we didn't even have a place to live. And then we just got in the car and came over here. And so in the first week, we just stayed at an Airbnb because we had no idea what the towns were like. Like, we didn't know like the neighborhoods, we didn't know where it was what, and we weren't even 100% sure yet where we were gonna train.
Yeah, I'm pretty geographically savvy. I've always like looked at maps, so we spent a lot of time looking at like, okay, where are the places that we think we might want to live? And we had a pretty good idea, but once you get here, and we knew this, before coming here, we knew like, we're gonna need to go and drive around ourselves in these neighborhoods. Like, somebody could tell us, hey, you should check out these areas. But once we got here, it was totally different.
We have gone to Austin 2 years in a row to come just train here at gyms. So, we last year with JitsPix, John Cho, one of our good buddies that we travel Jiu Jitsu with, we came and we visited 6 different gyms. So, the 2 gyms that really stuck out to us were 10th Planet Austin and Gracie Hamata Austin. And so these are on the south side of Austin. So we kind of like had an idea that we want to live on the south side, but at the same time, we really enjoyed Six Blades and Gracie Hamata Cedar Park, where Tim Kennedy and Giancarlo also teach. We were thinking about that as well, and even up in Round Rock. So we were literally like not sure where we wanted to go, even though we were favoring the south side. So we were like, you know what, let's just go there. Let's see it for ourselves. And I think as we got closer to the date, we started to realize that 10th Planet on the south side was really where we wanted to live.
And another thing is we were coming from predominantly training gi, and so we wanted to get more into no gi training. So 10th Planet obviously is going to be a major spot for that.
Yeah. One of the challenges though is that we primarily just compete in the gi. So
yes.
we don't really compete no gi. So this is something that we're gonna have to figure out, is how to get our gi training in. And that's why I think that training at 10th Planet, Gracie, Hamata, or possibly doing open mats at Paragon or wherever, we're just gonna have to figure this out to get our gi rounds in. Otherwise, we're gonna go into the tournament and not have our fingers and our attention dialed in, and we're just gonna get smashed.
Yeah. Another thing that I feel like I really loved the past couple years coming here just to visit was the open mats. Like, you can literally go to an open mat at a different gym every weekend. And that to me is absolutely amazing. The culture is so welcoming. There's no like, oh, you train at that gym, don't come here. It's like a tight-knit community.
Yeah, everyone cross trains, everyone knows everyone. So that's pretty cool. Last year we went to Vow for open mat on Sunday, and the energy in the room was really crazy, real good. And then we went to open mat at 10th Planet. We did open mat at Paragon. Like, it was just great all around. And so, for us, we really love to train at different gyms. I think she trained at over 30 gyms last year.
Yes.
I probably did like 20 or so. But this is one of the big reasons why we decided to come to Austin, is because this is the Mecca. There's gyms everywhere. The open mat culture is great, and a lot of gyms have just a very strong competitive spirit. So ultimately, we decided to train at 10th Planet Austin, and one of the big reasons why is with Jiu Jitsu, no-gi is becoming extremely popular, and I trained primarily no-gi at Pythagoras Jiu Jitsu under Spencer Mum, and I learned a lot over there. But again, it's a smaller gym. And so, I really wanted to expand my no-gi game. And so this way, going more into towards my black belt, I want to make sure that my my game was well rounded out in both gi and no-gi.
And for me, I really wanted to get more into no-gi because anytime I go somewhere to like an open mat or something and we're just in no-gi, it just seems much more flowy and fast. It's faster than no-gi. People can't just hold me down, pin me down. I do feel like I have a tiny bit more of an advantage versus being in the gi because people just pin me down in the gi. So I don't know. The movement of no-gi, I just really wanted to get more of that.
Yeah, so, we'll start at 10th Planet and then, we're just gonna have to see how it goes over the next couple months. But, we trained at 3 different gyms back home at Punta Gorda. We trained at Alliance, Pythagoras under Spencer Mum, Professor Spencer Mum now, and then also at Punta Gorda Martial Arts under Professor Tony.
And don't forget our home gym, Burnt Store Jiu Jitsu Club.
Truly our home gym. And actually we just set up now Easton Park Jiu Jitsu Club. So if we meet, maybe we'll train over here.
Yeah.
Coming to Austin, we weren't sure where we wanted to live. And to be honest, we're not even sure yet if we want to stay here or how long we want to stay here. So at the end of the day, renting made the most sense because it gives us the most flexibility. Plus, if we decide to leave the country for extended periods of time, or if we want to try different areas of the city, we're not going to be locked in to a very specific place.
So like we mentioned earlier, we stayed at that Airbnb for a week and we literally tried to drive around everywhere we could, checking out different neighborhoods. We have like a thing on our computer that we would mark off like red or green if we do like the area, if we don't like the area. And it was kind of just the vibe that we were feeling when we were driving through there. So, and it also had to do with how much can we afford, obviously, and proximity to the gym. How long is it going to take? Is there going to be traffic? There is the I-35 that runs north and south through Austin. And after being here for a bit, we knew we wanted to be on the same side as the gym. We wanted to live on the same side as the gym. So we knew we wanted to be on the east side. Definitely
not going up and down the 35 each day. That was something that I've become allergic to traffic. I'm from LA, and that's where we met. But after living in a small town of 20,000 people and it's like 5 minutes everywhere, like I just couldn't see how I can go through that traffic every single day. Once we decided where we want to live, it was just a matter of finding the right house. And one of the prerequisites of a house was able to lay down our mats. So we have a mat space. This is 17 by 17 square. And so we actually had to cut it down just slightly. But that was one of the big things, is having a house that had an open floor plan, because we've actually never had a living room. And I don't know if we'll have a living room. Maybe one day when we have a bigger house, we'll do that. But right now we just prioritize. So we just watch TV in our offices or in our bedroom, or just on the dining table.
Yeah, so that was it. We needed like 3 bedrooms and a big enough mat space. And even we went into a couple homes that were a lot bigger square footage than this, but this layout just worked out perfectly. And I feel like once we walked into this house, it was like, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah, so Easton Park is kind of near the airport. It's a newer development. Most of the homes here are probably less than 5 years old. But it's really close to the city. It takes us about 10 to 15 minutes to get to 10th Planet. We're about 10 minutes away from the airport. We're like less than 10 minutes away from the Concord project, a club, if you're into that. And also Circuit of the Americas, COTA is very nearby. When we first drove into Austin, it was kind of like getting kicked in the nuts and like slapped in the face a little bit, because again, I'm from LA, so the homeless problem, the diversity, if you want to call it, whatever, like I'm used to it, right? But I just haven't been around it. And where I lived in San Fernando Valley in LA, the homeless problem was just out of control. And so living in Punta Gorda, there's probably like 2 or 3 homeless people there. And so it's not really like an issue like where we live in Southwest Florida. But as soon as we came in here, we see encampments right next to Home Depot. It's taking like 15 minutes to go like a half mile from, before the freeway. And we're like, what the fuck did we just do?
I think we were both a little bit silent those first couple days, or just in our own heads. Like, I don't know if I want to say it. Do you want to say it? It was kind of like, did we just make the biggest mistake of our life? We already rented out our house back in Florida. So at that point we were like, all right, we're committed to something. So
Yeah, but you know what? YOLO. And you know, our main purpose of moving to Austin is for Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm not here to hang out and walk around the streets. So, you know, we work during the day, and then we hit up our classes starting at 4:30, which is amazing. And that's like one of the big reasons as well, is that the schedule at 10th Planet is just, they have classes literally all day.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can start class at 4:30, we can be home by before 7:30 and still have our night, eat a decent dinner, get some good rest, and like we like to wake up early. So it just kind of worked out everything, where the place we lived, the place we were training, the house that we ended up getting, but really the whole transition has been pretty smooth for the most part.
Yeah, and I think we could have mentioned this earlier, but honestly, one of the big motivators for coming to Austin, and specifically 10th Planet, was their schedule. When we were doing the gym hunt initially, we were looking at everybody's website and checking out their schedule and seeing what works with our work schedule. And honestly, 10th Planet was just, it was kind of mind-blowing what their schedule is and how many classes they have each day.
And all world-class instructors, so that's kind of hard to beat, you know. And I think the prices for their memberships are extremely reasonable. It's actually very great, and you know, to be able to get a room that big and to have that level of instruction and that amount of classes is really hard to beat. So we just started this channel. This channel has actually changed names. Before it was just called Jiu-Jitsu Gear Review, because I thought we were just going to review a bunch of gear, and then it turned into our Jiu-Jitsu journey, which was just a bunch of random stuff. But now we just named it SubbedInStyle because
it's fun.
You know what? Hey, look, if I can't at least play good, I want to look good getting subbed. So that's kind of like the whole point of this. But what we plan to do is, you know, add more content. We'll still do gear reviews. We'll still do like tournaments. We'll do gym tours. We want to start, you know, more documentary style storytelling. So we'll probably work with a lot of the local athletes here to be able to create videos for them as well. And you know, I'm huge into photography, so if I'm at an open mat and they allow me to take pictures, then I usually take a bunch of pictures and I just give them all out for free so people can post them on their social media or use them for a promo or just to have them, because sometimes it's great to have professional looking photos of you training, and most people don't get that. We're not making money off this, no. Maybe one day down the road, but honestly, this is just a passion. So, and
it gives us an excuse to travel to more gyms and meet new people. And I feel like having a camera kind of like breaks that barrier, and you don't have to like, hey, how's it going? Like, nice to meet you. You have a camera, you just go up and meet people. It's fun. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. Like he said, subscribe to our channel, like this video. It'll really help us out, expand, and reach more people. And we'll see you guys on the mats.
Oh, and check out our Instagram, SubbedInStyle.